Hello and welcome back to Supernatural Scoop, where we explore the eerie, the mysterious, and the unexplained. I'm your host, Casey Wilson, and I've got another creepy listener story to tell. Thank you, Ella, for sending it in. Today's story will make you think twice to ever answer the knock at your door in the dead of night. Buckle up, folks. This is the Midnight Visitor. It was a moonless night in October. The kind of night where the shadows seem to swallow all the light. Ella had just recently moved into an old Victorian home in a quiet town. Despite the appealing wallpaper and the floorboards that groaned every time you walked on it. One night, Ella was curled up on her couch with a good book when all of a sudden, she heard a soft, rhythmic knock at her front door. It was odd. She wasn't expecting anyone, especially not this late. Hesitant, she approached the door, peeking through the peephole, and saw nothing. She assumed it was just the wind and went back to reading her book. Because, mysterious nighttime knocking is totally normal. It's not. But then, the knocking persisted, growing slightly louder each time. Ella's heart raced as she tiptoed back to the door, this time slightly opening it. And there was no one there. Just as she was about to close it, she felt a coldness envelop her. She shut the door quickly, but the knocking did not stop. It seemed to be coming from all around her now. The walls, the windows, the ceiling. Desperate for it to end, she shouted, "Who's there? What do you want?" Silence. Then, a voice whispered back, "Let me in." Every hair on Ella's body stood up, and she shouted, "No," slowly backing away from the door. The knocking stopped abruptly, leaving an eerie silence in its wake. She didn't sleep that night, afraid of what could happen next. The next day, she decided to investigate the history of her house. The librarian, an elderly woman with a knowing look, told her the tale of a young girl who had disappeared from that very house a century ago. The rumor was that the girl had been accused of witchcraft and had been locked in her basement by her own family and left to die. Honestly, at some point you'd think that people would realize locking up alleged witches doesn't ever end well. Ella felt a knot of dread in her stomach. That evening, she braved the basement armed with a flashlight. The air was thick with dust, and the smell of must definitely hung in the air. As she descended the creaky stairs, she noticed an old, rusty lock hanging loosely from a chain in the basement door. She pushed the door open and stepped inside. The room was empty, but the feeling that hung in the air was so heavy, she immediately left. As she started to make her way back up the stairs, all the lights went out. Ella felt a cold, bony hand. She screamed in desperation, trying to get the basement door to open up. It finally gave way, and she stumbled out, slamming it on her way out. Because really, who wouldn't want to play tag with a ghost in a dark basement? Back upstairs, she called her friend to come over. That night, as they sat trying to make sense of what happened, the knocking began again. Her friend, thinking it was a prank, went to open the door, but Ella stopped him. "It's not what you think," her voice trembling. They sat in silence, listening to the knocks that seemed to echo the girl's last pleas. "Let me in." And that's our story for today. Thank you again, Ella, for sending that in. Remember, not every knock at the door should be answered, especially if that knock is coming from a ghost. Thank you so much for tuning in to Supernatural Scoop. If you got your own chilling tale to share, we'd love to hear it. Direct message us or send us an email at supernaturalscoop@myyahoo.com. We can make it anonymous. Until next time, keep your doors locked, turn your lights on. Do not answer a knock at the door in the middle of the night, please, because you never know what might be lurking in the shadows. See ya.